The question then becomes the culture. Because we can't use nothing else to describe a Jew besides their culture. We can't look at me and say I'm a Jew. It's a culture. So God has a wife in the Quran. Who is Yahweh's wife?
Excellent question. Let me first start off by going back to what you said. You said the best way to deal with ascertaining the name for Ghana is to deal with it looking at it from what's called a comparative method, which I totally understand. I actually deal with linguistics heavily. That's part of what I do. It's the reason why I now teach, not just have been studying Medu Neter. It's also the reason why I've been teaching Hebrew over 20 years. Linguistics is definitely something that I understand very, very perfectly. And I want to say this to you. We do know, even as you noted, that the term Ghana is not the oldest name for that region. What was not clarified is what particular ethnicities form the group we are calling Ghana today. For instance, we do know the ancient group that we refer to as Reni Kemet, the people who speak the language of Kemet, right? The spoken language of Kemet is Reni Kemet. But the people of Kemet is Remech Ni Kemet, the Remech. In reference to the Remech, which is the people of Kemet, we do know that originally this was several different ethnicities of people which came together to form what we refer to in the language of ancient Kemet as the Remech. The Remech were not any one distinct group of African people. There were many different African tribes that came together to form the Remech. That's why when you go throughout ancient Kemet and you go throughout all 42 known nomes, and I say 42 known nomes because in ancient times the geographical landmass of Kemet stretched as far as Kush below her. And there are many regions that are still undiscovered by modern anthropology today to say how far the region of Kemet actually extended during those periods, how far down as well as how far up. But nonetheless, my point still remains the same. When you go through all 42 nomes, you see different cultures. Why? Because originally the Remech represented many different African tribes. My point in relating the term Ghana and speaking about it from the Aramaic perspective, which is congruent with the actual meaning of the name, which you agreed to, you said it means ruler. So unless you could tell me what Twa word means ruler and is also Ghana, then I would have to still reserve that the term Ghana would have to come from Aramaic because it means ruler. Secondly, the term Ashanti. I asked you specifically, where does the term Ashanti come from? You didn't answer it. You said something to the extent of their language is...
I'm still supposed with the Twa.
Their language is Twa, right? But do you know what it means, the Ashan? Or Ashanti?
Or you want to break it down to the Ashan and to the...
No, that's not what I want to do. Okay. We both sharp brothers. I'm going to give you that. You sharp, I'm sharp as well. So let me say this. That's not what I want to do. But what I do want to do is just have you on record with what your research says it means. That way we can go further. Because I really can't even deal with it properly with you until I understand how you see it. Or else I'm just sitting here in ignorance saying anything. I want to first understand how you see it so that then I can come back and tell you exactly what my research tells me. And I'm definitely pass it back to you.
Did you say before, you just threw me off, man?
I said to you...
Okay, I got it. I remember. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. Now, going back to whether or not the Creator has a wife, the entire concept of God having a wife is totally not Hebraic in origin. Main reason why, the entire concept of wife belongs to what we refer to in Hebrew paradigm as something belonging to mankind. So for instance, a wife is joined to a man to produce a family, to help create progeny in the earth, children in the earth. When we speak about the ultimate divinity, which is the cause of all causes, which is the sum total of all forces in the universe, seen and unseen, what family could he possibly have? What wife could we possibly speak of him having? Does he have a need for a wife? We're not talking about anthropomorphism right now, where we're anthropomorphizing and saying God has a wife. Because even the cultures you may steer me to that speak of God having a wife, everywhere you take me in there, which I hope you do, I'm going to show you that it's anthropomorphism that they're employing when they even describe God as having a wife. Because when we talk about the Creator, number one, we're talking about an incorporeal being, a being that has no shape, no form, can't be seen, can't be touched. We're talking about raw power. If we go to any African language and we examine the word for God, they're all describing that which is incorporeal. If we go into ancient Kemet and we look at the glyph for Necher, which is the flag, we perfectly understand that that which is acting upon the flag, which is wind, which is unseen, is that which is causing the flag to move. Hence, for the ancient people of Kemet, the Remech, their best way of describing this phenomena or the ultimate phenomena of the universe, which is the idea that the Creator cannot be seen, they use the term flag, Necher, because he cannot be seen, to describe the unseen one. In fact, one of the highest deities ever worshipped in all of Kemet is Amun, whose name literally means the hidden one. So, to speak of the Creator as having a wife in the Hebrew paradigm really doesn't make any sense, because at the heart of it all, we're talking about an incorporeal being. What incorporeal being has a wife? We're talking about that which created man, that which brought man into existence. And so now, obviously, we're dealing in the realm of mythology. I can't escape that. We're dealing in the realm of mythology, because even what you're bringing up represents the mythology of African people. So if we're dealing in the realm of mythology and we're understanding those mythologies, in reference to mankind, those mythologies speak of man being created, meaning prior to him, nothing like him was formed or made, including his counterpart, which is a woman. So why would the one who created man have a counterpart such as a wife?